Welcome back to the channel that you all know and love, and if you don't know it, you need to get to know it so you can love it. Same old today. Be sure to join the Discord. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And also, one new thing, since TikTok is getting shut down, be sure to follow the Twitter page. I'm gonna try to tweet a lot more on there, post clips and stuff on there, and updates on what I got going on. Today, we are reacting to a Sunny V2 video. We reacted to a few of his videos before. Andre the Giant, how amazing genetics make life impossible.
Andre the Giant's size gave him everything.
The largest and highest paid and best known wrestler in the entire world.
Once being listed by the Guinness Book of Records as the highest paid wrestler ever. These same genetics, however, made his life a living hell.
I was about to say, bro, just look how big he is on a commercial flight compared to everybody else. He had to buy 2 seats, and it's not even because he's fat. It's just because how large of a man this man is. He's huge. Pause.
With Andre famously stating, "I would give much money to be able to spend 1 day per week as a man of regular size." When he was born, Andre already weighed 13 pounds or 6 whole kilos, which is almost double the average male baby, weighing 3.3 kilos or 7.5 pounds. Growing up, Andre played soccer, with his childhood friends stating he used to be the goal.
Soccer. Damn that. Andre, your ass need to have all hands in the dirt lined up on that gridiron, my boy. You need to be like Jordan Davis in that mud. Post up down there on the block like damn Zach Edey. Like Shaq. But the thing is, I don't think he would have done well in basketball. He would have had to lose a lot of weight because all that weight jumping up and down, his knees would have been toe up. Oh my goodness, his knees would have been.
But the ball would never go in because he was so big. By the age of 12, Andre was 6'3" and 240 pounds or 108 kilos.
I started going to school, I was bigger than all the kids.
He was too big to fit on the local
Is he still alive?
bus, and his family didn't have the money to buy a car that could deal with his weight. As a result, Andre left school.
It's not because the car wasn't big enough. It was the fact that the car could not hold his weight. I don't feel like y'all really realize how unreal that is.
School to work on a farm, where one day a friend of the farm's owner drove slowly past the field in a Rolls Royce. "I will own such a car as that someday," Andre said quietly. "Stop dreaming and start raking," his father replied. "You are a big boy, but that dream is too big even for you."
Imagine being told that. See, that's what I'm talking about, bro. I had too much support. Like and I appreciate all the support I've been getting in anything I've ever done. And I greatly appreciate that. And I've been put in a very blessed position. But I'm just saying I didn't struggle enough. Otherwise, I probably would have been pro.
I said to my dad, someday I could get a car like this. And he said, quit dreaming and keep walking.
According to his brother, Andre did the farm work of 3 different men and would drive an unregistered car as the cops wouldn't dare to stop him. When he tried to join the military,
Andre was deemed unfit for service as there were no shoes big enough, bunks long enough, or trenches.
He was unfit for service because he was so big. Usually they say that because of some kind of health condition. He was too big of a unit. Nowadays, they'd find something. Oh, he gonna get in there. They're gonna find something
enough to accommodate him.
Yet these same issues made him a wrestling sensation. He'd officially become Andre
juggernaut
the Giant, a famous televised wrestler, but more notably had grown so much, his own parents didn't recognize him when he came back home.
My parents, they was a big fan of me, they saw me on TV, but they don't know.
Your parents were a fan and they didn't know it was you?
No, because I changed my name.
At over 7 foot tall and 500 pounds or 227 kilos.
7 feet in half. No, that's not half a ton. What is that, a quarter? Hey Siri, what is a quarter of a ton?
1/4 long is 1/4 of a long ton.
Like, what the hell? What was that?
Andre saw a doctor to figure out why he'd grown so much.
His hand is about the size of her torso, dude. Oh my God.
Acromegaly was the diagnosis, a rare 1 in 12,000 brain tumor causing the body to produce excessive growth hormone. It leads to extra large hands, feet, and fingers, as well as a bigger jaw, nose, lips, and tongue. According to Ripley's Believe It or Not, his fingers were so big around that the ring he wore had an opening that could easily fit a silver dollar, which is 38.1 mil. To put the size into perspective, the average man's finger is around 10 to 11 mil well around. This could be seen in interviews like this.
This is his ring, and I kid you not, I can get all 3 fingers in that ring.
With people on Reddit adding, favorite fact is that Andre was so large, he could push a hard-boiled egg through his wedding ring.
Oh my
wife
God.
mentioned instead of a handshake, she said she could only shake one of his fingers. These elements made him so—
Bro, I want to shake his hand. I would love to shake Andre the Giant's hand. I'd probably have to open my shit up like this and like that and just shake it like that. It reminds me of that dude. He was blowing up on TikTok, RIP to Talk, but I think he was getting big on TikTok. He had those fat, meaty ass hands. He's not even like a big dude, but he had huge hands. And he was like a professional arm wrestler. I don't know if it was the same condition or similar. I'm pretty sure similar, but his hands were huge.
Unique that when doctors offered to remove his tumor, Andre bluntly refused.
He decided that he didn't want treatment at that time because he thought it would interfere with his career as a wrestler.
It stated, if this is the size that God wanted me to be, I'm going to be this size.
I use what God gave me. I'm not supernatural. I just myself. So what God gave me, I use it to make a living.
However, this gave him a short life expectancy.
The commission doctors at Madison Square Garden told me he's going to be lucky to live to be 40.
And meant he'd keep going until the day he'd die. By the time he'd joined the WWE, Andre had reached 7'4", peaking at 560 pounds or 2 kilos.
What size boot is that, Andre?
Size 22. Size 22.
Take a look at that along my size 9.
This made him the most successful wrestler ever.
Without a doubt, Andre was the most famous wrestler in the world.
Now, if he were to take the gym seriously, I mean, obviously a lot of the equipment he wouldn't be able to fit, but say they had like a own personal gym and a lot of the equipment was custom made for him, I'm pretty sure he did some kind of workout. But imagine he's sitting here benching. How much did Andre the Giant bench? I gotta look that up. He could bench 470 in his prime. It was probably harder to do because he's so big, so he probably couldn't get a good form on it. And it says that he could probably lift over 700 pounds, around 700 pounds. Good googly moogly.
Continue to make his life harder.
It's difficult everywhere I go. They don't build anything for big people.
Man got some mean sideburns.
For blind people, for crippled people, for some other people, but not for big people.
Andre was constantly visiting new cities.
The nature of your job, you're traveling all the time, aren't you? Like 320 nights a year.
Oh, he is
which came
massive,
with its own set
man.
of challenges.
Hotel.
Is there anybody close to being this big now? Like, I'm talking like size to weight comparison. Like, obviously you got Wemby, he's 7'4", but he's a stick bug. Then you got Zach Edey, he's about 7'4", 7'5", and he's big, but obviously he's in shape basketball big. He's not nowhere near 500 pounds and not close to 560 at their peak. To be that big, you gotta have that tumor. You gotta have that tumor. Because like basketball players, they're big as hell, but they don't have that tumor. I feel like that's just genetics. That's just them being genetically tall.
Beds, are they a problem?
I tried to find a hotel where they got a king size bed. There was when I go in Japan, all those cars are so small.
Oh, going to Japan, bro. Everything's tight as hell, bro. I wouldn't even go.
Even in a hotel, I can go through the door, I can go to the bathroom, everything is so small.
Andre was too large to fit inside most cars.
When I'm traveling with a car, I need
Oh my God.
That's right. You can't even get in it.
There's nowhere for the giant to live anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you can put one car in each foot.
Taking a taxi wasn't a better alternative.
Funny story, one time we couldn't get a taxi because he was so big.
And when they finally got one, Andre was charged extra.
We ask him how much he is, and we see the counter, he charges double. So you're a big guy, you have to pay double.
It seems that flying was Andre's
What?
only option, where
That's
he'd
not
have to
fair,
book
bro.
the entire exit row. However, thankfully, he was able to fix this problem.
What about plane travel? Does that get old after a while? Awful?
I go in first class, but I don't really mind with it.
Despite this costing an absolute fortune,
I'm
I
traveling so
bet.
much now.
Ooh, especially back then because the price of stuff was probably still high, but he probably wasn't getting paid a crazy amount in the WWE and all them plane tickets. Oh my goodness. And he about to talk about how much he paid. I think he's finna say right now how much he paid. Hold on, tap in.
Last year I bought for $67,000 just an airplane ticket.
there was still another even bigger flight.
All right, so he was alive around the 80s. $67,000 from the 80s today is $256,000. $67,000 today was equivalent to $67,000 back in the 80s. That is how much money he spent on plane tickets.
Problem. Andre couldn't fit inside the toilet. He therefore had to relieve himself prior to boarding.
Andre would always time it so that he would take a dump before, he went to the airport.
But in one notable instance, he forgot to go beforehand.
No!
He's up in first class, and he tells them, I gotta go. And they're like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
The onboard solution wasn't exactly glamorous.
It would relieve him.
Oh, please do not tell me this man had to go to the back of the plane or had in some corner on the exit row. Somebody had to stand there with a 10-gallon trash bag, one of them black heavy duty mugs, holding under that man big ass booty cheeks, and just hear blah, 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 blah. Okay, it came out of there hard as hell.
Self into a bucket, and then they bring it in and dump it into the toilet.
But in retrospect, the story's pretty funny.
The smell that started coming out, there was people falling out of their seats almost into the aisles, puking, crying, screaming.
Sadly, this didn't only apply.
Bro, I'd open the oxygen things.
In the bathtub. No. Yeah, there's no toilet gonna take his ass.
And with monumental bells came monumental farts.
It sounded like, like a deep roar kind of like thing. It would rumble.
On the set of Princess Bride, this actually halted production.
He lets out the most monumental fart. The whole plywood set was shaking, and the sound guy lifted his headphones off his ears and was doing that, and it went on for, somebody timed it, was 16 seconds.
While Andre's former wrestling opponents
hold
thought
on.
the win.
So hold on. He farted so long, it went on for 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and a 8 and a 9 and a 10 and 11 and a 12 and a 13 and a 14 and a 15 and a 16. That is how long that one fart lasted. He had one of them. And it probably sounded like Godzilla came out the damn ocean when that boy started farting.
Wind lasted even longer.
And I could feel my fucking shoulder just vibrate like. You know how long a giant can fart? How long? About 40 seconds.
Andre was so different
I wouldn't
to
say 40
everybody
seconds.
else, it got to the point of public ridicule. Hulk Hogan explained when we'd walk through the airports, if he got ahead of me, I'd hear all the unkind things that people would say. Oh my God, look at that guy. It would just break my heart.
What? They probably did say some wild things, which is fucked up. I don't know why people are so mean to somebody that big. I think it's cool that somebody's walking around at that size and they're just vibing. I think that is a wild, horrible quote. Oh my God, look at that guy. I mean,
perceived him as a freak of nature, and
tell him
that
what he
hurt
actually
Andre
thought.
more than anything. This guy was very sensitive. Boss, sometimes they laugh at me, they point at me. It hurts my feelings. You never think a guy like that would cry? But he would cry.
Andre stated in an interview, I would give much money to be able to spend 1 day per week as a man of regular size.
Wow, man.
I would shop and I would go to the cinema and drive around in a sports car and walk down Fifth Avenue and stare at the other people for a change. Disguising himself in public simply wasn't possible.
Muhammad Ali could put on a trench.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can't. He cannot hide himself. He has to just go out there, and you got to embrace that. You got to embrace it. You 7'4", 500 pounds. What are you going to do?
Coat and a ball cap. Andre the Giant couldn't hide in the backseat of a car.
Instead, opting to numb himself completely.
He never, ever quit drinking. He drank from the time he got up to the time he went to bed. If he could figure out a way, he just done it in his sleep.
While Andre's drinking feats are often highly romanticized, there's no denying he had a serious problem.
He started drinking about 9 o'clock in the morning. He drank I'm not exaggerating, 20 bottles of new Beaujolais.
Doing so to cope with his difficult life.
He drank because he was in pain. His spine,
I hate that.
and his knees gave him a lot of trouble.
He'd drink 6 bottles of wine before every wrestling match, with Jake the Snake explaining that Andre once drank 48 beers in a single car trip.
He drank 2 cases of beer and did not have to piss. How can you do that?
This was nothing compared to a different night.
Is it true that you in one sitting drank 117 beers?
Yes.
Were you drunk at the end of that?
I don't remember. I think I passed out.
With Andre's unofficial record being 156 beers in one sitting, which fellow wrestlers Dusty Rhodes and Michael Hayes confirmed. However, this only added extra weight onto his body.
I myself saw him almost every night.
Question, what do you think he working with downstairs? You know what I'm saying? He's 7'4", 500 pounds. I feel like it ain't nothing. No, it might be something wild. I ain't gonna lie. It might be something wild. It's probably about as thick as his microphone, but with a mean ass curve.
7,000 calories worth of alcohol.
Which seemed to be the primary motive for why he eventually quit.
But you don't drink anymore?
Not since 14 months ago I quit.
Oh, he stopped. Good.
Yeah, because
I mean, it's not like he's still alive.
560 pounds.
And you've trimmed down now to?
Right now I'm 470.
This led to the infamous Andre the Giant vs Hulk Hogan, after which his career was basically over. When he next came to a match, Andre was using crutches, showing the decline of his physical health. He'd retired to a ranch in North Carolina until he flew back to France for his father's funeral. He'd take this photo after the ceremony without realizing that 3 days later, Andre himself would die of a heart attack.
I'd like to announce the death of one of my favorite wrestlers and one of the most famous wrestlers of all time. He died this week in Paris, France, after going home to his father's funeral.
His body was too large to fit in any French crematorium, and as a result he was shipped back to the USA. His ashes weighed 17 pounds or almost 8 kilos, being just another reason he's remembered as a legend.
That's unreal. Fire video. Amazing video, by the way. Not gonna lie. What would y'all do if y'all were that big? What's the first thing y'all doing? I gotta go to the league. I gotta go pro. But at the same time, all that weight on your knees and your joints, that is not good, my brother. And also, since this was a health condition he had, there's probably a lot of underlying health conditions that he had and they didn't know because it was back in the 80s. And back in the day, they used to just let shit fly. But be sure to check out the other videos I have on this channel. Be sure to join the Discord. Or also be sure to check out and follow the Twitter as well, because I want to get us a little following, a little community started on Twitter. I feel like it'll be fun to have a Twitter community and have a lot of stuff get posted on there. But yeah, man, hope y'all enjoyed. I'm out.